Okay, muchachos, this video is we're going to talk about direct object pronouns. The next video we'll do indirect object pronouns. So this one, a pronoun means that it refers to something that's already been stated. So whenever you're trying to figure these out and which one to use, remember you got to look back and figure out which noun or which object am I trying to replace, and then that'll help you decide which one to use. Okay. Remember, direct object pronouns can refer back to people or things. When we do indirects, those can only be people. So most of the time, we'll use this to refer to things. No, I take that back. There's a couple examples where it refers to people. So let's go over. We're gonna do our little chart in English, and then we'll do one in Spanish. Okay, so if we're doing direct object pronouns in English, again, this is always myself, by myself. I would say me. You say something, oh, is this for me? You would be this one. Down here would be another you. It would be him or her. So the you is the same as our subjects, but him, and just think of it this way. I always when I'm trying to distinguish between subjects and objects, subjects start the sentence, objects usually finish the sentence. So these are words we would use to end the sentence. So you wouldn't use a word like he or she, because that's how we start a sentence. You wouldn't start a sentence with him or her. That's at the end, right? Oh, I invited him to the party. Did you invite her? So those are words that would show up at the end. So those are my objects. This over here, notice as a subject is we, but as an object it's us. So we went to the store, he invited us. This one would be you guys. And put that there. And then it's them, right? So they is what we use to start the sentence. That would be my subject. And them is how we'd end the sentence. That would be my object. Okay, so there they all are in English. So me, you, him, her, us, you guys, and them. So what are they in Spanish? So nice thing is the me is me. It's spelled exactly the same way. It is spelled a little differently. Anyway, my wife's practicing the piano in the other room. I don't know if you can hear that. So she plays the harp as well. So pretty talented. The familiar form is te, and then the us is nos. Have we seen those before? Yeah, you see those all the time. Remember we were doing the verb gustar? We had me gusta, te gusta, nos gusta. So you're gonna see these are always the same, me, te, and nos. Now these down here, these bottom two, they change. So to refer to you, him, or her is lo or la. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put over here. We got to put it as well. My bad. Okay. So down here we have lo or la, and then over here we have los or los. Now the difference between these two is masculine and feminine, and over here these are both plural, so again it's masculine or feminine. So that's why it's important to know what it's referring to, because it'll already have stated something, and so it's referring back to that thing. We'll do a couple of examples here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so just copy these charts down, and then we will let's do some examples. Okay. Before we do the examples, though, let's talk about pronoun placement. Now this works for all pronouns, not just direct object pronouns. Pronoun placement. So this is once we've replaced a direct object with a direct object pronoun, now what do we do with it? In English, it stays in the same place. And again, I'll point that out when we do our example. But in Spanish, we have to move it. So your first option is to move it in front of the conjugated verb. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not blocking it. That's our first option. And that one is always available to us. Okay? Option number 2, and we just have 2 of them at this point. We'll add more in later. But option number 2 is to attach it to the infinitive. Okay? We don't always have that option. Sometimes our sentences only have a conjugated verb, and sometimes they have both. If we are doing a list, kind of a to-do list, a lot of times we won't have a conjugated verb, we'll just have an infinitive. And so we would only have option number 2. But most of the time we're going to have option number 1, and then sometimes we'll have both options. Okay, so let's do an example here. So let's say we say I want Taco Bell. Okay. And so if you say this in Spanish, you say yo quiero. Remember, the yo is optional. Taco Bell. Now, so here's my subject, here's my verb, and then here's my object. If I were to replace Taco Bell with it, right? If we do this in English, it stays the same. You say, I want it. If we do it in Spanish, this it is going to change to either lo or la. I think Taco Bell would be masculine. It's a restaurant. That's masculine. So we're going to use lo. But we can't say, it doesn't work in Spanish to say yo quiero lo. That lo doesn't go there, right? So we don't have an infinitive. We just have the conjugated verb quiero. So my only option is to move lo in front. So instead of writing like this, we have to move this one to here. So it would be yo lo quiero. Okay? Which is different and weird. We're not used to that in English. We're not used to moving our object pronoun anywhere other than where it used to be. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. Okay? So that's option number 1, where we have a conjugated verb and we move the pronoun in front. Okay, let's do an example that gives us both options. Okay? Let's still use want. Okay, and my sentence in English is I want to buy. What are we gonna buy here? The chalupa. Still going with my Taco Bell reference there. Okay, so in English, if we were to change this to it, I want to buy it, meaning we already know, we have already referred to chalupa, we already know that's what we're talking about. So we just leave it in the same place. So it just goes in the same, I want to buy it. It stays there. Okay, so let's do this in Spanish. So we say, yo quiero comprar, oh geez. Comprar una chalupa. Okay, so there's my same sentence. We're using the object here, una chalupa. We haven't changed it to a pronoun yet. So I want to buy a chalupa. Now let's change this to it. I want to buy it. So una chalupa. Remember to say it. My choices are lo or la. And because chalupa is feminine, we're going to pick la. Okay? Now, I have option number 1 available to me because I have a conjugated verb, quiero. So I could put it right here. It could go right there. I could write the la right there. But I also have option number 2 available to me with comprar, because comprar is an infinitive. It's a verb and it ends in AR. So that's an infinitive, means to buy. Okay, so I could put it there. So either way is fine. It doesn't really matter. They're both correct. So you could write yo la quiero comprar, or yo quiero comprar la. Now notice it does say to attach it And so it becomes one word. Comprarla. Okay? So those are my two ways. And again, you're not going to have the option. A lot of times you won't have the option. But this one we do because we have a conjugated verb and we have an infinitive in there. Okay? So either place is fine. All right. That's it for direct object pronouns.